Welcome to Night Game. Are you ready to play? My name is Mvikeli, version 3.5.7, and I will be your game master tonight. Now, Night Game is not like any other game you've ever played or experienced before. Night Game is something that you just have to feel to believe. And in tonight's stream, I'm going to see what you guys believe. Now, my name is Mvikeli, version 3.5.7, and I am in Group 7. What is Group 7? You might have been hearing about this lately. Well, Group 7 is your soul group. Group 7 stands for your spiritual path number. If you want to find your spiritual path number, go on to Google and type in spiritual path number calculator, and you will see if you are really in group 7 or not. Now, if you really are in group 7, then you know as well as I do that being in group 7 is a very, very solitary path, the path of the hermit. And being in group 7 means that you have an immense responsibility. And what is that responsibility? That responsibility is to beat the game. Now, since ancient times, in every society, in every culture, they've always been gifted children, gifted people who just had something extra. And these people have been called many names. Some of them you even made into gods in some stage. Now you prefer to just turn them into scientists. But back then, these people were taken out of society and given a different spiritual path. And if you are a 7, then you lived on this earth in many incarnations where you took that spiritual path. You were the people meditating on top of mountains while everyone else was fighting wars and squabbling over love and money. You were the people who were high up in the Italian hills, chanting, getting in touch with frequency so you could heal, while everyone else was busy making fur coats? I don't know. And now that you've incarnated here to 2025, you don't lose your epigenetics. You keep them. But it's just different how we reach you. And so, like I said, my name is Vikeli version 3.5.7. 7 stands for my group number. So once you find yours, you'll have yours. The middle number, number 5, is your birth date number. Your birth date number is vital because that's the gateway that rules your soul's path. So yes, we are all group 7 and there are 7 of us in here as confirmation. But we also need to look at what flavor of 7 are you? There are 31 different flavors. I happen to be flavor number 5 because I was born on the 5th. So you know your birth date, slot that into your code. And then the first number, the 3, that is your life path number. How do you find your life path number? Go onto Google and type in life path number calculator and put in the details. You need your full name and your birth date because this number is the key that identifies your specific role, and there are only a limited amount of these roles in the mission that we're all on, the spiritual path of 7. So my number is 3.5.7. You will have your own number. And as you use that number, you will start to notice that certain things just unlock for you. Kind of like a cheat code, kind of like the tarot. Now, I'm going to be reading for you from this deck by Manly P. Hall. Now, Manly P. Hall is someone that was one of us. He was a starseed. And the starseeds came to this planet not to take over, not to ask you to take us to your leaders. We don't need them. We came here to make sure that those who are on the spiritual path do not get locked in this crazy jungle of a world where there is no connection. So we are coming in to spark that creative spark in you that you already have. So we don't read tarot like anyone else you might have seen read tarot, because for us, tarot is a game, just like life. And just like a game, you have that information tab where you can, just see what you have, what you can do, what worlds you want to go to next. Well, the tarot is just the same. And that's what we are going to be doing today. I'm not going to get too much into the starseed backstory right now because I'm more interested in you. Everyone's always watching me, I feel like. So I want to watch you. I want to know who's there. Because isn't it funny that you could be at home, you could be at work, you could be in the toilet, but there we are. We found a way to find you. So I want to know who you are in group 7. So let me shuffle the cards and let's connect to the astral realm. For the Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He maketh me to lie down on green pastures and walk beside still waters. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I shall dwell in the house of the Lord forever. Selah. Okay, we've got some excitement out there. So, first card, I want to know, who are these people? Who's in here? Who's watching? Oh, of course. Okay, so group 7 is watching. Yes, they are here. So immediately I'm seeing that whoever is here, whoever's watching, this is a timeless reading. Whenever you're watching this throughout time and space, I already know that you are someone who is deeply, deeply focused on your current situation in the physical realm. You are you're a very hard worker, but have you ever heard the saying, work smart, not hard? Now, I do understand the reason why you work so hard is because you don't want to gain anything in a way that doesn't sit right in your gut. Everything that you have, you want to know that you got it with a clean conscience. So I'm very glad that this is the kind of people that are coming. So that's very good. Now, if you notice on the card, we have a symbol over here. Now, who wants to take a guess what that symbol is? It looks like a hand mirror. That's a nice way to remember it. And who would have a hand mirror? I don't know, maybe a pretty woman. So, a woman, what planet do you think of when you think of a woman? You think of Venus. So, the reason that you are here, I'm sensing, is because you want this material stability in your life so that you can manifest love. In other words, it seems like the type of people who are here do believe in true love, but you believe that there's a conflict. I'm seeing a conflict in your minds, in your spiritual, mental bodies, about the concept that you can have true love and money, riches, success. It doesn't mean that if someone is with you when you are rich, that they wouldn't be with you when you are not. It also doesn't mean that if you meet someone when you are rich, but everyone ignores you when you're poor or not, it doesn't mean that that person is only after your money. So that there's something that you have to get comfortable with here. And it looks like that's going to have to be blending the ideas you have about love and wealth. These are not two competing ideas. And we know that on your planet, they keep telling you that money is the root of all evil, except it seems like all the people with the money are not subject to any laws. Well, not on this earth anyway. But it's not true. Money is a tool, it's an energy, it's a carrier of vibration that can make things come to you quicker than if you had to physically build it yourself. It's a manifestational mercurial carrier, you could call it. And when you detach your attachment to having money, and I'm seeing that this is a family thing, it's in the genes, because as you can see, there are so many faces and family insignias. We also have a religious connotation at the top. For example, the ways we view money in terms of giving. How much is enough? And if you have billions, should you give or should you keep it because you earned it? These are the questions that we have come here to tell you are irrelevant to getting exactly what you are wanting. So, the victory I want you to focus on throughout this reading is not about how am I going to get what I want out of this game we're playing right now, but I want you to think about how can I connect what I'm seeing and what I'm hearing to a deep part of myself so that I can use it as a tool for myself to get over whatever it is I'm struggling or grappling with. That's how you play the game of tarot. And once you connect with the images, they will start talking back to you. So I'm going to leave it out there. I'm going to get a few cards. I want to see exactly who you guys are. So I know who you are, you hard workers. You guys are really focused on the physical, so you have a lot of achievements, you know, all the stuff you've heard a million times before. You also are very responsible. Um, I feel like you put yourselves before, I mean, you put others before yourselves. And you also seem to kind of get into trouble for no reason. Um, and it's almost like no good deed goes unpunished for you. And you're questioning whether or not it's worth it anymore, especially with your previous incarnations where you did not occupy this kind of world. Now that you have, it's natural to ask, well, what's the point? I've done what I've done, I've experienced stuff. Do I really need to, why don't I just move to a farm somewhere and raise cattle and mind my business? Well, you don't want to do that because you want something. Otherwise, you wouldn't be here. So, what do you want? Let's see. What is this thing that's keeping you hopeful? Okay. Hmm. The King of Swords. Hmm. You want to show yourself you can do it. Oh, you don't want to do it for the money itself. The money is a representation of your ability. You want to show that you are not a product of conditioning, but a product of your mind. That's really cool. I got a cool group. Okay, there are some conflicts you're having. I feel like you've done a lot of the work as well because it is the king. I mean, the king means you're radiating this energy. Okay, they didn't tell me I was gonna get like such powerful people. And I see this as something you don't see yourself as having already. You think it's something that you are reaching for, but don't you know that if you have a desire, it's because you're a vibrational match for it, and so obviously you already have it. And I'm glad that it is the swords because that means you are more interested in developing your inner eye, on filling your body with light so that you can yield power responsibly. You don't want to be like those people we were just talking about. You actually have a sense of responsibility. It's just right now I'm feeling a lot of thoughts in your mind, doubts as to whether or not you are this person, even though you have that proof. And I'm also getting a sense of how much is enough. In other words, you're asking yourself, well, how much do I need to prove that I can be ethical while still being successful? And then I'm also feeling some of you are too scared to enter into that realm of success because you feel like all the successful people are on some weird list with airplanes or something. We don't use airplanes in Cygnus, so we don't know about that. But I think it's just you needing to clear your mind and look at all the achievements you've made, you've accomplished, and then look at not just what you got out of it, but the people who were involved in it and how their lives were positively affected by your involvement. And that is your legacy, that is your kingship. And focusing more on those things and those people and those environments will bring you closer to obtaining the physical manifestation because I mean it is the king of wands after all. Yes, a king, but he's still not here. He's in the etheric realm, and the etheric realm is very, very close to here. Now, we do have a series called Starseed University with over 20 lessons explaining realms and Metatron and time. But I'll just touch on it briefly. We have six, seven realms. I'll talk about four. We have the physical realm, we have the etheric realm, the astral realm, and the mental plane, and then three others above that. But that's a star marine thing. Anyway, when we see the King of Swords, we know that it's in the etheric realm because it's very close to the physical realm. And in the etheric realm, there are beings who live there. And these are beings that you guys call the Fae or fairies. And they don't like this term, so I do apologize. But they are the workers, machine elves of reality. So when you make a request, when you make a cosmic order, you do it from the mental realm. So I want you to imagine yourself sitting at a computer screen in this super technologically advanced place, and you are typing on this 1985 computer with green text on it all of your desires. I want a new car. And you press enter and then it goes into the global consciousness, and I mean global as in universal. For us, global means something different than you guys on earth, but that's a whole nother story. So your request goes into the global consciousness, which then matches it to thought forms. Now that's why sometimes when you guys are not specific enough, you do get what you want, but then it comes with a bit of a catch. And that's because you weren't specific enough. So the people, they are called mercurial messengers. So basically, sons of Mercury, they deal with your requests. They don't have time to say, oh, that's John Smith. He wants a red car, but he wants a specific red car. That's like, we don't have time. So they just put it in with other thought forms. Another name for thought forms is an egregore. And these egregores are real beings. But when I say beings, one of these beings equals a million people on Earth, for example, usually more. And so don't think of them as beings as in a person, beings as in a consciousness of ideas, which are frequencies that align only through matching, not through looks, not through personality, through match. So let's go back to our example. You asked for a red car, you weren't specific. The mercurial angels pick up the request when it goes down and gets printed in the ether of the astral realm, and then they start sorting out what you want. And that's when you start seeing images of the red car everywhere you go, because the astral realm has now been seeded with what you wanted. And then after it goes through the astral realm, you really start believing it. And as you start believing it, you start acting like you've got the red car. And then the elves, or the workers, the fae, in the ether, they're the ones who, they steal your keys and hide them. And then you walk down the stairs and you happen to look out the window and you see, oh, there's someone selling a red car. And then it happens to be the one you want. That's how magic works. It's a system. And so when I see the King of Swords here, I know that you are so, so close. And not just close to something, close to everything. So let's see I mean, you don't seem like you need to be watching my channel because you've got everything, basically. So is this just an entertainment thing? You guys just want entertainment? Is that it? Well, let's see. I need way more information. Okay, let's make it a good shuffle. Let's cut through the galaxy static and see what you guys. I see the cards the same time you do. Ooh, yeah. You want to work for it. You don't want an easy ride. Spirit. I always find it fascinating that I always think I'm going to possibly attract a immature crowd because of the way that the subject matter is viewed in the Muggle world. But I'm just so glad to see this card because it means that you are hard workers and you enjoy the work, but you enjoy the work because it connects you to the divine. Whatever you're doing, or the thing that gives you that passion that you want to do, which you could be doing now, I guess that's why you came here, for me to tell you that. This thing, you only like it because it connects you to the divine will, and that's why you don't care about the money. I mean, you like the money, you like the achievement, but you more prefer the solitude it can buy you. I'm even hearing some of you out there now saying, yes, if I was rich, I would literally not talk to anyone. I would be that celebrity who says, don't look me in the eyes. Not because you're being mean, but because for you, as I'm seeing here, it's all about working with the divine. Huh. It's almost as if you are an experimenter. I guess you would call it in your world an alchemist, where instead of actually using physical base metals, you want to use the base metals inside of you. You want to use your experiences, your desires to build a relationship with the invisible world. That's really, really, it's it's a divine masculine force, because what we're dealing with here is that raw energy. And when we get that raw energy with the page, it's it's already developed. It's already ready to go. It just it's almost as if you can't see that you have the land. I was expecting reversals. I was expecting some, funky or crazy stuff, but you seem to have everything together. I mean, you're on the right track to getting what you want. Hmm. And you definitely want to work hard. So then what's keeping you back? What's holding you? What lies the devil told you now? Goodness. Yes, we have them too in our galaxy, the Dracos. So what have they been telling you? What have they been doing to your order? Oh, they told you you were a bad, bad girl. A bad, bad boy. That's what they said. Oh, it's one of those. Okay, I like this group. It's not crazy like the other ones in that other dimension. Okay, so you guys are normal. Basically, they want me to tell you you're being hard on yourself for no reason. You are the good one. You are the good guys. You are the guys who have been revived, resurrected. You are the ones who are so close. I cannot believe this. It's like I'm plotting here. We have number 20. You are so close to the world. It's right there in the ethers. This is our first major arcana card. And the one thing you're afraid of, they're showing me that you're afraid of, am I allowed to say the word? Dying? Afraid of dying to the old world in order to manifest into Asiya, the physical world. And there's something you're not sure about. And I think it's related to a specific event. Let me just tune in. Okay, group 7. So I'm looking over you guys from the mental plane. There's a screen. So when I say I'm looking over you, I'm not like hovering, but there's a screen and we look down at it. We're not actually physically looking down on you, but I see that a lot of you went through something horrendous, something insane, something diabolical, something nightmares are made of. And I'm seeing that in this situation, you were the person who was in the right. You were in the cosmic justice rightness. But for some reason, because you haven't manifested a physical, tangible 5 cents version of that justice, which we can see is yours in all the other realms. But because you haven't touched it, you're not going forward in your game. You're waiting for something to do something else. When, as you know, in a game, you can just go to another section in the map. You can go to the home base, you can go wherever. So you can do that now. And where you're being called to go is into the next part of the game, the next level. And you are literally right there. You have the blessing of the entire universe. The entire universe is bursting at the seams to celebrate with you. You you've carried. I'm getting an image of Jesus walking with the cross. And it's almost like you are not the type of person who has even been able to get closure or talk about the cross you've carried because you feel guilty that everybody else has a cross. And so you diminishing that is what's leading you to not see this opportunity. Huh. And I'm also seeing there's a voice, well, a person in your life that reinforces that old reality of yours. And so it looks like you have some meditating to do. Because whenever I see a major arcana card, it really speaks to me about what someone is wanting to be seen as in the world. It's like the energy they want everyone to notice about them. The other ones, the minor arcana, in the game of life, they are those, subtle energies with a lot of power. But the major cards, it's what you want. You want to be right. But as you know, in your past lives as a monk or as a priest, you knew that your meditations were saving the world, but you didn't care about being right. You didn't care about people knowing. And you're being asked now to take that fortitude and that strength and realize that there are other realms of existence of which I belong, and you don't need man to tell you you are right, because God tells you you're right, because I know that you went through something you shouldn't have, and I'm telling you you were right. So we know. Okay, okay, we know. So don't be tempted by the lie that you are not who you say you are. Okay. So let me bring in a strong presence for you now. I think we need to chase that thing away. Whenever you see the devil, just tell it to run. So I'm going to bring in someone you know or something. Because we are doing the normal tarot reading. We are playing a game, okay? We're manifesting here. So let's bring in something to cure this energy. What do we have? There we go. 6 of Cups. You see, guys, when you just have faith, when you just know, Daddy comes by and he cures it all away. He heals the wound. So this is the perfect remedy. I absolutely agree. In order for you guys to believe that you have got this. You know, talk to some people that you grew up with. I think it doesn't have to be people you grew up with, but people who love the same things that you love, okay? People who want to create the same things that you create. You're being called to hang around people with the same energy and vibration that you have. And this is not even a call, it's more of an order, because we're dealing here with the Six of Cups. So we're dealing with your heart, we're dealing with that realm where you create the way you relate with others. Your ideas about what's right and what's wrong always boil down to relationships with other people. And so sometimes, inevitably, especially on this planet, people create sets of ideas. Again, going back to thought forms, because maybe they just don't want to think too much, so they stereotype and generalize. But with the six here, it's telling me that you're quite good at focusing your mind. You're good at remembering things from your past, your childhood, nostalgia, maybe through music or movies that put you in a good mood. But what I'm being told is you're not embracing physically reaching out. You're not, you like going there in your mind, in your feelings, but you don't like actually being around the people. And you're being called or directed to reach out now and go and experience something with the group of people that you share common interests with. It's it's like, have you ever seen that video where they have those metronomes all out of time, swinging, 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 and then eventually they all start syncing up, and then there's that little one on the side that just takes 2 minutes to sync up, but eventually it syncs up. That's what I'm seeing. I'm seeing you being that metronome where the rest of group seven is swaying, 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 and you're there, but it's just letting go of that last, lie that you are not free, because you are free. And as confirmation, there you go. You literally have the blessing. You have the blessing, and you have Archangel Raphael, you have the sun, you have, I mean, ultimate beauty. This is, it's just worrying to me that you're here because you literally have everything. So why are you watching me? I need to know. Um, Look what popped out. I don't do pop-ups. I only do pop-ups if it's this card, because whenever I see this card, it's always legit. You don't believe. That's why you're here. You don't believe. You're saying life has been too hard for any of this to be real. You don't think it's real. You think this is a game. Well, it is a game, but a game of life. And in the game of life, you have to realize that there are other people who have the rules, and those people create your experience of reality unless you make that brave choice to believe in anything, the Easter Bunny, the waterfalls, the trees, anything else, as long as it's yours. But once you do awaken to the fact that, oh, there's more to life than algebra. There are yogis in India who can levitate. I've seen them. When you open your mind to the real reality, then it'll be easy to believe. And when you believe, it's not just saying it, it's acting like it and taking that step into your full group 7 status as a solitary spiritual path, modern technologist. We're not saying go hide in a tree. We're saying use what you learned in all those lifetimes when you had an easy life. When you were kids, they saw you were psychic. So they took you and pampered you and put you up while everyone else was in the field, in the sun. Why? Just because you were born with extra gifts. And now you're being asked to give back, to sow back into your community, your people, your life, your family, your kids. All of the stuff you learned while everyone else was fighting wars and suffering, and you could wear socks. Yes, Google it. Socks were invented for priests because you guys were too holy to touch the floor. So I know life feels hard right now, but this is a fraction of what those people went through back then when we were wearing nice ceremonial robes and dancing around to make it rain. Yes, they chopped off our heads if it didn't rain, but it's a good thing we knew how to make it rain. And we still can. You can. You are. So let's see. I want more. Your disbelief in magic and God is not helpful, is what they want me to just reiterate before I draw the next card. They know you believe, they just would like you to act like you believe. Even if you pretend just for a week and watch what happens. Well, not pretend, because you have to believe. Whew, and I'm going to tell you how. So, how can they believe? Let's ask. It's easy to say, I'm hearing. Some people say it's easier said than done. Everyone says believe, draw in universal energy, but no one tells you what it is or what to do. So let's see, what is it? What do they mean? Ooh. This is their secret weapon. I see it as you see it. Movement. You need... Okay. I'm being told to tell you the story of this Roman guy. He was digging in his field and he found a treasure chest full of gold. So he writes a letter to the emperor and he says, I don't know what to do with all of this gold. So the emperor writes back to him, use it. So then the guy sits down and he thinks and he's like, okay, I'm confused. So he writes another letter back to the emperor and he says, I don't know what to do. I don't know how to use it. So the emperor writes back, okay, then abuse it. That's the energy I'm getting that will help you shift your faith and believe. So I'm literally being told that Spirit, Jesus, does not care if you believe in the Easter Bunny or in the buttons or Benjamin Button. He just wants you right now to flex your belief muscle. He wants you to pick a topic and then place yourself on either end of the vibrational frequency of that topic just to confirm that this technology works. Now, this is only for group 7 because if anyone else in the other groups tries this, it won't work. It is only tuned for the genetics of people with life path or spiritual path number 7 because they were in solitude. Their brain waves are different. They can go into theta and delta and remember. So please do not try this at home if you are not group 7. So what they're telling me is you pick a subject and then on either end of that subject is a vibrational frequency that is opposing. So they want you to visualize it as red and blue. So let's say you want more money. Now that is a topic. You could pick a topic like, I want a new lover. That's a topic. Now, on each ends of those topics are frequencies. Let's start with, I want more money. On one end, you have, there's not enough money. I want more money or else I won't be able to survive. That's red. It's root based. That's the life that the people we escaped in our past lives were living. Then you have the other end of the topic. I have so much abundance, it's spilling out of me. Money is a fun token. I want to spend it everywhere and every chance I get with the people I love. You know, your 10 of Cups energy. So, and 10 of Pentacles for that matter. And so pick a subject and then see where you fall on either end of that spectrum. And what I'm being told for you to do is, even if you pick the negative end, as you would say, there's not enough money, I'm not going to get money, you're still going to get the money. And even if you pick the side that says, there's so much money, I'm so abundant, you're still going to get the money. The only thing they ask for you to do is please believe it. If you say, I have all this money, and your vibration is wrong, they will kick you out. You'll get money, you'll lose it. You'll make a turn, it'll fall off. Do not try and be toxic, positive-minded people. If you believe there's not enough money on the earth and that there are evil people controlling the money supply, then believe it. And then they will give you ideas on how to still make money within that frame of your reference. 7 days. They ask you to do it for 7 days, where you say, okay, I believe the only way people can make money is by being a gangster. Then they are saying, watch, in the next 7 days, you will be exposed to that lifestyle, that vibration. Not because they want to scare you, but they just want to demonstrate that your inner world has an effect on the outside world. So why the heck are you waiting for permission from other people to do what you want to do? Get a move on. You have everything there. You've been sent by the divine. You've got stars on your banners. You've got this regal royal chariot taking your etheric body into manifestation. So you guys look like you want some motive. Should I call Tony Robbins and he can take over Group 7? It's getting quite heated in here. Okay, so that's the way you get your faith back. And now I want to know, what are these other forces, or what's the main force that's really, because I'm getting a sense of also with that Hierophant not feeling like you worthy, also with the judgment, like someone's judging you. So what is that about, you know? Let's see. 8 of Cups. Oh, somebody broke your heart. Hey, I'm sorry. Somebody lied about you. Somebody really pulled a number on you. Okay, I get it. I get it. I get it. Do you believe in love? What? Love after love. Do you believe in life after love? That's really had an impact on you. It almost came out of nowhere, because whenever I see an 8, it reminds me of Scorpio. And Scorpio is the 8th house in astrology, and it's about stuff that just comes out of nowhere, out of a black hole, is what I call it. So, yes, I can understand. And it had to do with, say, am I allowed to say that? With romance. I need to update the terms and conditions in my system. But yeah, there was romance involved. There was a heartbreak. And even if it wasn't romance, there definitely was an intimacy. An intimacy, even of like best friends, or just someone you thought you vibed with really well. And it turns out that it wasn't really what you thought. And so I totally understand. It's hard to create when you've been broken in the place where you create. Because when you're with someone, It doesn't have to be a person. For a lot of you, it is. For some of you, it's a project or projects. But a lot of you, it is a person. And it was this moment of intimacy where you thought it was real, but then it feels like you sometimes when you are with people, you put them into your secret space of creation in your mind. You start imagining things about what you'll be doing or how things are going to go. And that is not always reflective of the real energy they are carrying, because they could be reflecting your energy back to you. So you might not be getting the accurate information. And that does come from, I don't want to say laziness in terms of a spiritual discernment, but it does come from that thing that we develop on earth where it starts becoming easier to just copy and paste attributes of people, especially with the technology we have, where you have these subcategories of, oh, I'm this, but I'm this. I'm from Africa, but I'm from East and Southern Africa on the north in this tribe. So it kind of gets convoluted. And so, yes, it makes sense to just take the easiest information, let it all wash over your brain instead of thinking and connecting to your internal guidance system. But at least you got the chance to experience creation from that place. Yes, the manifestation didn't last, but you know how this works. And I think there's a sense in you of what is it for? If you create something just to walk away, just to destroy it. Well, what's the point? Well, the point is moving energy. The point is always about the energy. That's what you said earlier with your page of wands. You just enjoy the energy. And in order to create something new, you have to bash the sandcastle down and start again. That's the joy of creation. Something has to be destroyed or lost. But the experiences, the emotional depth that's received is the space that the new light can come in, because it's a bigger space. It's more specific. So I really like you guys because you have such pure hearts. You have really, really good energy, and it's just a case of seeing that light inside of yourselves. So why aren't we? There's some force that you can't get a handle on, and I want to know what it is. Huh. You don't like being vulnerable. You feel like it's too uncontrolled. You feel like it's too unpredictable. And also, you don't want to look bad if it turns out magic isn't real after all. You don't want to be on some documentary where they say, look at those Moonies or whatever. And no offense to those people, just the funny name. You really care about what people think, not in a way that everybody else always says. Like, you don't care about impressing people, but you still have that priestly nature about you where you care about being seen as proper, at least as proper it can get in 2025. And there's that strong moral thing with you that I keep getting, which is making me nervous because there are a lot of videos on this channel that are really, really provocative. And the reason they're provocative is because that's how we work. In order to implant the new upgrade, we have to jar the old system out of you. And so that uses Aquarian energy, which works through the internet because Aquarius controls the internet. And that shock that you get is that Eight of Wands connecting the synapses in your brain so that you receive the update. And so, with you guys who seem to be very proper, I feel like I'm at church all of a sudden. And you guys are so pure, yet you feel like your purity is uncontrollable. You feel like it's dangerous. If people know who you are, they're gonna come get you or something. It's almost like when God came into the Garden of Eden and said, "Why are you guys dressed? Who told you you weren't dressed?" Oh, am I allowed to have that on there? Who told you you aren't? It's the sun, come on. You see, you guys are making me feel that energy of being a prude. I mean, it's art. But that's that thing. You're afraid something's going to happen. Someone's going to get you. Everything is fine. Your vulnerability is what people want because you had to take confessions. You've heard everybody's deepest, darkest secrets. That's why nothing phases you anymore. People could come up and tell you right now that they did a double jeopardy in New Orleans. You'd be like, okay, it's fine. If you've seen Double Jeopardy, you'll get it. But nothing phases you. So why are you phased by your own unfazedness? By your own amazingness at being unfazedness? Show everybody. Say what you really feel. You don't have to keep the peace. You're not a traditional peacekeeper in the sense of doing what other people want you to do so they can feel comfortable. You're a peacekeeper in the sense of, in order for peace to be maintained throughout the galaxy, everybody has to fall in line with the frequency of love. And if they can't, then you are the one who's going to be the one provoking them to do it. How? Just by being you. I haven't seen any shadiness yet, and I will not because you are amazing, as I can see. You are the sun. You have everything. You are learning to take your intellect and the new language you've learned in this magical community, and you're now starting to apply it to reality. It's just that one step of saying, okay, now I'm putting it all on the line and it's public. So, oops, what was that? I'm not gonna look. It's not a horror movie, don't look. Okay, so we know that you're afraid of being vulnerable. So how do we take that away? Like, how do we give you control? Or what do you already have that you just can do to break this energy up? Let's see. How can you put this more into the ether? Change your perspective. It's one of those cases. I know it's we're not chasing dragons, we're not flying off mountaintops. This is one of those where it's like, look, you've got everything. You're just not looking. It's there, you're not looking. I haven't had, such a smooth reading in ages. Haven't done a reading in ages. But you are amazing. It's just your perspective. That's off. Nothing is wrong. Your control is in your perspective. And isn't that wild? I'm being shown that you are so good at controlling your emotions and manifesting and focusing your mind. I saw all those pentacles at the beginning. That's who you are. You're good at that. But when it comes to believing that magic is real, and that magic is nothing but just any sufficiently advanced technology, That inability to cross that threshold, or rather, not inability, that hesitancy, is what's creating this illusion of separation from the divine spirit, the divine will. And it's all in your heart because God puts the desires you have in there, not to make you feel like, nah, 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 you're not gonna get it. I just wanna hurt you. Nah, nah, nah. No. He puts it in there so that you have an internal guidance system so that you know what is for you and what is not for you. If you didn't have that, you would just run around with your panties on your head at rocking the daisies. But because you have desires in your heart, you know when something rings true for you and use that skill as you go into this new area, or rather, your area or arena of manifestation into Malkuth. As you take these ideas you've learned, these things you know how to do, even if they bore you, and you put them into some form of a schedule, some form of a subconscious ritual, whether it's meditating on it or just writing about it or reading about it or watching movies about it. You know what? I'll even make it easier for you. You don't have to meditate. You don't have to think. Just go down to the description box and click on the playlist, and then you'll find a whole bunch of songs designed to raise your vibration towards the love frequency. Not just the lyrics, but the music as well. So there's no excuse anymore. No excuse not to connect. Especially, I just saw bottom of the deck. This is what you're thinking of. And it's I'll put that there and then we'll squash it. So with this, it's gone. These swords are all of your jewels of experience. These swords are not sticking in your back. These swords are what you are going to use in your future incarnations to defeat whatever evil you find there. These swords are a blessing because you know when they say, I don't come with one, I come with 10,000 or whatever Maya Angelou said. She's talking about these swords that you collect over life experiences. Every challenge you have is like a rock. And every time you get over a challenge, it's you pulling that sword, like Excalibur, out of that rock. The key of the swords is to always take the swords. You always get the swords. The more swords you have, the better. So always be proud when you see this because it means you are like no other. Not many people can carry this burden and then still come out as the sun, except those with the genetic predisposition because of their past lives and cosmic rays to connect to these frequencies where they can turn this to their own benefit. So it's all just about changing perspective. And then you'll be really close to getting control. Now, I'm getting something that you need to avoid during this time. They're telling me, tell them this thing that's been happening, just it's nothing bad, just something to avoid. Yes. Oh boy. You know, you can't be pregnant forever. The baby's gotta be born sometime. And it seems like you are sitting in this energy of comfort. And well, I don't, like I said at the beginning, I don't have to do this. Do I really, should I move to a farm? Should I just relax? That feeling, that mindset, I'm being told needs to vacate immediately because there is a great mutation coming in 2027, February 14th to be exact. And with this new genetic mutation, the people, well, if you call them that, of today will seem like savages in 2027 and beyond's generations because they will be born with 9 chakra centers like we have. Well, we have all 12. But anyway, they'll be born with 9. So imagine walking around the world with other people who are more like us than the people who are here with 5 or 7. Do you know how amazing that's going to be? So they want you to prepare for that because that's going to be the thing. When all those souls come in, the new souls, they're going to need schools, they're going to need books, they're going to need medical care that is focused for them because they are coming here with this genetic mutation. They won't be able to be tricked like the other generations were. These people will see through dimensions and realms. So when people tell them something, they'll just know when it's true or not. So then that's where you come in. Because you, being true, being this moral, upstanding citizen of the Galactic Federation of Light, you are going to be there to provide them with all of the services that will be obsolete with this new generation. It's already started. It started in 2016, really, when we came here and started, putting this in plan. But you've been training for this your whole life. Those dreams on a mountaintop, not dreams. You were sitting on that mountaintop. You are sitting on that mountaintop because time is an illusion. But anyway, all of these things are not just random. Have you ever noticed when you're driving, everything just seems to flow? Somehow, you always just miss hitting the car. You always just miss the pedestrian crossing the road at the wrong time. There's something just playing life like an orchestration of music. That's what we're asking you to tap into. Be the conductor you've always been. Because when you were sitting up on that mountain meditating, when you were doing this up in millions of years ago, all those thousands of years ago, you were actually here. I am able to talk to you now because of that meditational energy. We tapped into it and rode it all the way over here. So continue on the mission you started and build up your physical empire the same way you built it up in the kingdom, because the promise was real. You are now inheriting the earth. So take it, sign for it, use it or abuse it, but it's yours, is what we're saying. So I feel the energy lifting. So well done, guys. You're not really much into typing, are you? It's okay. I like a captive audience because I cannot multitask to save my life. We just don't do it where I'm from because frequency is not something that you mix. Frequency is frequency. And when it joins, it becomes something new, something else, not separate segments of things. So this is something they are asking me to tell you. Okay, so I'm going to move these now. I feel like those were heavy. Okay, good. They want you to be rich. I'm just going to say it. We've already discussed money. So, yes, it's okay. You're allowed. You're allowed to be filthy rich. Not only are you allowed to be filthy rich, you're allowed to show it because we have a king. A king relates to the sun, the radiance. So you're not just rich. You could have been a queen who would have just been rich, maybe, and kept it quiet because it's more about enjoying her family life. But no, you're rich and we know it. Look at him. He didn't even need a chair or a throne. He's like, look at my money, look at my money, look at my money. Now, it sounds counterintuitive, but I want to explain that concept I said earlier of picking a topic and then going on either end of its stick. And why I said it doesn't matter which end of the stick you pick, it's still going to happen because you're on that topic. So if you don't want that topic, pick another topic. But let's go to you. You're group 7. You're a priest, a monk, a good Samaritan over and over again. I'm not going to say you were poor, but you weren't, you were humble. Okay. And that humility served you well then. Now you're on the opposite end of the stick. Now, one thing they always teach in these religious or these sects back then, especially, is that you should always store up your treasures in heaven, not on earth. And that's what you did 2,000 years ago. Now you died. Now you're in heaven because you have everlasting life. You realize the secret. It's real. You just live again and again and again. Now they want you to take your money because you know how to use it. You won't abuse it. So it's the same topic, but you've been humble, you've been broke, you've been helping people in 1762 when they were burning the witches. Now take your money. It's free and clear. It's not a trick. The devil's not going to come and do that genie trick where you get what you want, but at the expense of somebody else. It's not. This is real. And this is something Spirit is giving you full authority to chase. Jesus is saying, tell my children in group 7 to take up their inheritance that they were promised. The meek shall inherit the earth. So go and inherit it. You guys, I mean, it's a nice job that I get to tell you to take your free money. Consequence, karma free money. So, it's like that thing when I always see on earth you have this thing called the lottery, and I'm always like, why would you work at the lottery when you could just win the lottery? It's like, you guys, why are you even working when you can just take over? It's your attitude. I want to see what's happening with the attitude. Let's put this up here, because are you that good? Oh, something fell out. Okay. It's that question of love versus power again and again. Because I'm seeing here that your attitude towards this whole thing is that what you really, really want is just a stable life. You don't like the unpredictability that changing, dare I even say it's succeeding, might bring to you. So you are like, nope, I just want to stay with my 7 pentacles. Thank you very much. It's like that game show, Deal or No Deal, where they ask them, the banker's offering you this much. Do you want to take a chance, or do you want to, you know, take the offer? And you guys are on the verge of just calling, not calling it quits in a resentful way either. I feel like you just like, you're content. It's like, I'm fine. I have my family. I have my marriage or relationship. I have food on the table. I have everything I need. What do I need to go upset in the apple cart for? Being all rich, people coming out of the woodwork asking for money. I don't need that in my life. Again, it's just a very sweet energy to feel, because you guys really are genuine. You really do not give a stuff. This is unprecedented. I mean, no wonder the devil was after you guys. You can't be swayed. Your fortitude amazes me. You, you're so happy in your internal world. This actually being rich, or very crass term, rich, but you know, it's the internet. Meet them where they are. Very weird to see that someone feeling like being rich is a chore. Just pay someone else to worry about it if it's that big of a problem. What's the biggest problem these people think there is to getting what they want? Let's see. What do you think is the worst thing about achieving your dreams? Seriously? The worst thing you think about achieving your dream is that everyone's gonna know your secrets? Everyone's gonna know your private life. Everyone's gonna know your backstory. Old boyfriends are gonna come and start talking about you. Old girlfriends are gonna tell the media how big you are. That's your concern? Well, why not think about it on a jet or in a Mercedes? I'm sure you'll be fine then. You've earned it after all of that. And by the way, who knows what people are thinking? And half the things aren't true anyway. Your image as a priest and a monk, I understand back then, oh, you had to be beyond reproach. You had to, have the door open when you talk to ladies. You can't be seen in certain places. Now you're a normal person. You've inherited the kingdom. You don't have to work anymore, essentially. So who cares if people know your business? Who cares if people start talking about what happened 10 years ago in this place over there with Boo Boo and Kafuna in the parking garage? It's fine. It's not worth trading all your spiritual riches that you put away all those years ago just because of people today who are living in the bushes. They don't like that. And they're telling me even now, some of you, they've been kind of knocking you on, giving you signs on the head. Some of you have even found certain things. Am I hearing? You had an ants. There were ants somewhere. Yeah, it's not a curse. Don't worry. They're just bursting at the seams. Okay, so they want to give you a hand. Some of you've had things happen, and I'm being told this is the reason. King of Cups. You have someone with you who's helping you. Now, a lot of people might tell you that it's some relative, some ancestor, some whatever. We don't like to use those terms because once someone's gone, they're gone. We rather like to use the terms that their etheric imprint is still around and it can still be accessed remotely with its own consciousness, which, yes, you can then interact with without actually performing necromancy. And so when I see this card, you guys have the most beautiful cards. I just feel wrapped in this really beautiful masculine energy. It's not like harsh red energy. It's this bluey reddy energy that's very, very soft and very thick and luxurious. It feels like the light from Chokhmah just flowing over and around me. And I just cannot believe that people emanating this kind of energy are A, watching me, B, have any doubts about their abilities. That astounds me. Because again, we have the king, a king. Guys, do you know how special you are? Do you actually realize you are the most unproblematic people I've dealt with on this mission thus far? This king, so the words I'm going to use to describe this king, just, go with me in your imagination. So, yes, there is someone there with you. Now, this person is an etheric imprint in your life. I'm getting from some of you that there are people that you knew when you were younger. Maybe now they've moved on and you didn't get to have a full relationship with them. Those energies are still there etherically, because don't forget, just because someone leaves this plane, you still have them in your mind and they still go on in that realm with their lives. And that's where sometimes people talk about spirit attachments or spirit husbands. Completely different topic and very misunderstood. But just so you know which realm we're talking about now. So I'm getting this sense that you are getting help from your heart realm, your heart chakra, your realm of um, where you create. Remember, I said earlier, when you date someone, you put them in this place where you imagine yourselves together and the plans for the future. You have someone in there guiding you. And I'm getting the fact that you actually get guidance by people you are attracted to. There's this thing called the glow. And I'm being told that you have a knack for seeing the glow. Because again, a king is radiating this energy of completion in how they form relationships. This is not someone who is, for lack of a better term, an incel. This is someone who has game. You have night gamed the game. And now, yes, you might feel bored, but you're being told that you have this help with you, this ability to form relationships with people, this ability to connect your divine energy with someone who might be different to you. You are able to find some form of connection or light or similarity, and you hold a space for that. And when you hold a space for that, you create more light. And this help that is being sent to you is within you. So it's not something that's outside of you, it's something that's coming from within you as a result of being able to hold this light after that hurt you experienced. You have more space. So you hold more light. And as you hold this light, it attracts the right vibrational people, places, things to get you this life that you want, which we saw earlier over here with the King of Swords. Just wanting that clarity. That clarity comes when you realize the thing you're afraid of the most, being vulnerable, is the thing you are the most efficient at, that you have the most help with. And you would be doing the world a whole lot of good if you shared that cup. So let me look at some. Aha. So I wanted to just quickly find out what's actually stopping you, because I now see that you are very capable and that if you weren't making a move, it's not because you don't want to play the game. It's not because you are too scared or you haven't learned any spiritual defense or tactics, offensive. No, it comes back to this money thing again. You're telling yourself that there are other people with more money who can do it better. But this is just a knight. He doesn't have the experience you have. Whoever this person is, or group, or whatever you think has money and can beat you, it's not so. I'm sorry to tell you. Money can only get you so far in the physical realm. And this is a wraith or a knight. So he's not fully matured yet. He knows how to get money, he knows how to direct money, but he doesn't yet know the purpose of it. He doesn't know it's an emotional frequency carrier. And he also doesn't know that it can radiate out and in, which is why he flaunts it around, or they, whoever they are. And I'm getting a sense that this is just your typical view of the world because of all that morality subject matter that we dealt with earlier. It feels like you generally, are at that core of why you feel love and power cannot mix. It's because you're looking at people who flaunt money as if they have power. But I would like you to just think, maybe the money has power over them. Wisdom says it is easier for a camel to go through the eye of a needle than for a rich man to enter the kingdom of heaven. Why? Because a rich man cannot imagine life without. A rich man cannot live the lives you lived with nothing. Meditating in a cave so you can draw paintings on a wall of the flashes and visions you saw, so that when your tribe went hunting, they would have food. That was your job. So no, a rich man, yeah, but now you're the rich man. Why? Because power and love can combine. You gotta use it. You can use it, you can abuse it, but you'll never lose it. So we're sending in some reinforcements. Let me connect to the mothership. Okay. So back on the ship, I think it would be a good time to mention that my role is as a horologist, horologist. And a horologist is a time technician in Lumania. And what we basically do is what you guys would call time travel here on Earth 606, or as you say, Earth. And what we do is we go through all the footage in all times, spaces, and we make adjustments. Now, I go onto this process on the website, which you can find on the description or about section on this channel. So the whole technology is in there. But essentially, we go through time, and whenever we see spikes in frequency, specific frequencies that we're looking for, we are able to zone in on those time zones and spaces. And then through what you would call time travel, but we don't really like that term, we are able to send genetics anywhere in time that will unlock whatever upgrade we need at that moment. So Now, what I'm about to do is send you reinforcements. And when I say send you reinforcements, I mean I've already sent them, but because of the way we're experiencing time, it feels like this is me sending them now. I want to make this distinction important because I don't want you to associate what I'm about to do with me or magic or any kind of special ability, because it's something you can do too. So just think of me as using a piece of fancy equipment that you've maybe never seen before. And let's see what reinforcements I sent you in the future before I came here so that I could tell you. Because, we have to do things this way because there are other entities. Well, not entities, we call it galaxy static. It's just interference patterns. Gremlins, as they say. So let's see what I sent you. So we have to keep things secret and speak in code because code in the astral realm cannot be scrambled, cannot be messed with, cannot be corrupted. Okay, so I'm sending you help. You'll receive this help shortly. That's why I started this reading on the 8th, because 888 is my number. It's under our domain now, group 7. So here's your help. Who's coming? Oh, I send such good help. You're getting the magician. This is really good. I'm so happy for you guys. I really am. You are getting the power. Now, if you notice a little reservation in my voice, it's because this is a lot of power. Hmm. Why would I send so much power to these people? Ay, ay, ay. Okay. This is a lot of power. This is all the power. This is... This is your house. Oh boy, it's happening. Okay, so in my father's house are many mansions. Whenever you see this card, this is your house. Now I'm going to tell you a secret that only the initiates of group 7 know. Well, are allowed to know. Okay, come close up. Let me tell you. I said I'm sending support. So I've sent you magic. Not just magic, but the magician. The magician is a program that has been installed into your psyche, into your unconscious mind. If you breathe in and exhale, and then inhale and hold it in, keep holding till you can no longer take it as I speak. It's a good way of installing the program. So the magician is it's your house. Under creation, there are different spaces where people can claim land and build. You were told not to store your treasures on earth, but to store them in heaven. So, where is heaven? Well, let's look at this card and you'll see what it's about. The table represents earth or this house. There are four corners of the table, just like there are four corners of the earth. The magician is standing on the ground because he realizes that he is a creation or a tool on God's table in God's house. And within that house of earth on which he stands, he has built his own table, his own house. Remember anyone else who used to build tables, who was a carpenter? So now that the magician has figured out that mirroring creation is the way to become kingdom, yes, you become kingdom. Not king, kingdom, when you have this magic. And when you do that, you realize that just by mirroring creation, you become a creator. And the secret to activating this magic is through your words. Your magic wand is your words of creation. Because look what the magician is holding. The magician is holding the caduceus. That represents basically being a psychopomp. A psychopomp helps in the journey of souls. And as a priest in previous lives, or a monk, or someone who dealt with the metaphysical aspects of people's lives in whichever community you were in, you were that psychopomp leading people through the waters of Sharon, of their emotions, of their crises, their sicknesses, their secrets, their confessions. You earned that as you came to this new world, Group 7. And he's pointing down to tell you that use your words to tap into emotional states based off of thoughts that align with your true will in order to create. Now look at the table and look at what he has on the table. He has the suit of wands, cups, swords, and pentacles. But he's not touching them because you don't create with created objects. You don't create with creation. That's what Samael tried to do. And we all saw how that worked out. Lilith, you create with your wand of words. Now, this magic is not usable by anyone other than those in Group 7 because it's similar to what people would call in this dimension spell work, where you just say words and they happen. Now, I understand why you guys feel now the way you feel, because if this is this if this is the stuff that you've been wielding that was sent to you, uh a lot of people sometimes see it as an unfair advantage. And then it's easy for someone who has it to feel ashamed that they have it. So in a sense, when we're up there in the mental plane, and even in Lumania, we don't really understand the gravity of what it feels like for you guys on Earth living it, because there are so many other things going on in the universe, and we don't really appreciate the gravity of what you go through when you are all alone with this energy and you have nobody to explain it to you. This is definitely something we are working on up there. And that's why we're here playing this game with you. But now you're being asked to be proud of your gifts because they're the ones that got you through everything. And, whenever you were in those situations that seemed really bizarre, I'm being shown someone who literally is saying, this feels like a movie. This cannot be real. Even when you were in those situations, you were always safe because of that ability you have. You would never speak against your own safety, and that's what kept you safe. And it goes back to that original thing of you know how to do it, you know it's real, so you're more than welcome to go ahead and do it. And when people come to you, they're saying, be careful because they might just get you to say stuff so that they get what they want. So, you know, keep that one to yourself. You're the one who was praying on a mountaintop for 16 years. So you get to keep it, okay? You can use it, they would abuse it. Be responsible. But you've got it. I'm so, like, humbled to be kind of providing this message for my group. I appreciate you guys. Ah, let's look at moving forward. Such a peaceful. Okay, I don't do overturns. Should I do this to overturn? I'm not gonna do it. I'm gonna do a proper selection. So I'm already feeling more clarity. I'm already feeling more peace, more ease. Yes, the cards are smooth now. We started off but now we're smooth. We're getting there. So let's see just some last few words of help. Okay, so, I'm being shown your you like the idea of safety. You like the idea of being around people who share the same values as you. That seems to be the main theme of this. Leaving the old world behind, even if it means leaving all of this loot, money, cash, whatever you want to call it, booty, on the table, and just choosing happiness, choosing love, choosing stability in your emotional security and harmony. You don't want the bad boy or the bad girl. You just want the normal person who's going to be boring, flat character, but at least they're there. At least they're not going to do anything unpredictable. And so that approach that you're taking, I think, is actually good because it centers you in that world of creation, and it centers you in that world of identifying like-minded souls. And that's what's gonna, I think, really pull you up because you're not gonna know. You're gonna think you're going to hang out with your friends, but that's where the money's gonna be. Someone's gonna be there. The king of pentacles that we saw up there will be there, and you'll get your money. So well done. I mean, Group 7, why did you manifest me if you already know what you're doing? I'm just going to draw maybe 5 more cards and then we will close the game. So I just want to see what your emotional state is. Oh, we've made some movement. I got you thinking. It works. Okay, Cygnus, we did it. You're feeling better. We started on a 7. Here we are on Venus. And now we're on Mercury. So Mercury moved us. I did my job. Soul contract fulfilled. And now you've got the 8 of Pentacles. You feel an idea. You feel sparks. You feel like, okay, something is possible, something is moving for me and it is coming. And this is a pentacle, so it's physically probably just happened. You probably just got a notification or a message on your phone about this thing, about this idea. Or you just heard about it. I mean, this is now. I'm getting now energy now. Um, you feel this drive. Let's see what you're thinking right now. Oh, okay, you're gonna have to let go of looking at the past way of understanding pain. Pain is not something to be avoided. Pain is something to be overcome. It is a necessary step towards gaining a jewel from life. Then you use that jewel to leverage or parlay more jewels. And pain is literally just that process. It's a quick flash in the pan and then it's over. So, in order for you to make this work, I want you to take that pain and see it as a jewel, polish it, and shine. Okay, maybe 3, 4 more cards and then we'll say goodbye. 3 more cards. I'd like you to just think about how it's easy for us to keep ourselves in a place where we don't want to reach out because it's easier to avoid certain hurt, excuse me, than to experience the human machine. It's easier to avoid certain hurt, like hurt for certain, than it is to experience true love and all that goes with it. So I get that. Uh, but life must go on, and you can't keep hiding. You have to go out. I'm being told you need to go out. You need to think about what they're saying. It's okay, follow love and follow comfort, but don't, sit around in your heart space thinking about all the things that went wrong and why you're so happy now that those things are over. Because you're not really living, you're just reminiscing about the past. Let me just do 2 more. Oh, please consider your options. Please just look around you in the world. I mean, there are so many people around you. I'm getting here that there's even secret admirers that you have you don't know. I'm getting a Aquarius energy. There's people on the internet. You like looking at people you like, but you don't talk to them, but you like looking at them. You also like reading and going down rabbit holes. Oh, it's art. It's art. It's art. Okay, so I just want to see what's your last takeaway. They had to put that one in there. Takeaway. Beautiful. Another successful mission. So the takeaway from all of this is you guys are beautiful. You guys are amazing. You are the best people I've ever read for, ever. You are, when you're in the Star Marine program, it's kind of like an oversoul group avatar program. And so you go through different, realms and you work with different entities and spirits and vibrations and thought forms and even sea creatures. um, and they all have a different flavor to them. Then when you come and, center in back on Earth, you forget that that stuff isn't just out there, that there are people here like that too. And I just get so happy when I run into you guys on Earth because I know they separate us. They can't have us in one place. It's like the Coca-Cola guy. I think there's five of them and they each have one part of the recipe and they can never be in the same place at the same time or else the recipe's gone. That's what I'm getting here. You guys are so strong in your solitude that now you have been gifted, you've been given, you've been rewarded with the gift of the ethers. So, literally, from now on, anything you imagine is yours. You can cut through the cobwebs of your mind. You can cut through any of the limitations that you have with this gift. And that's what they're asking you to do. They want you to imagine every situation you're in as you're like Indiana Jones and you're just cutting through the vines of life, going for that holy grail, that chalice, that cup. Well done, Group 7. I'm so, so proud of you. I'll be back again. You'll be seeing a lot more of me because this is the mission for which I was sent forth. Thank you for playing this game with me. And as always, I'm really grateful because without you, we wouldn't exist. It's your love that brought me here. Because without your belief and faith in love, you wouldn't even be listening to me. So we appreciate it. It's how our technology works. Good night.